Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Brew TV. I am your host, Lex. And today, most interesting, we have Iyanu, who is going to talk to us about some AI and the Chat GPT that he uses. So let's tune into this. This is going to be really interesting. So stay tuned. There he is. Iyanu, how are you?
Good, Lex. It's really great to be here. I've been looking forward to having this conversation with you, Lex.
I love it. Me too. I have too. You have quite a personality. You're always happy, which I love. And even more importantly, I don't know if it's more or not, you're super smart, and I'm really excited to learn from this. Way out of my wheelhouse. Okay. I'm not good at AI. I barely understand it. But I'm going to learn a lot from you today. And you're with Trade Like a Champ, right?
Correct.
Is that your new site? That's your new site, right?
Correct. So we are a small company starting off with the desire and passion to really spread the awareness on financial literacy. We're not just spread the awareness on financial literacy. What we are really trying to do is to figure out how we can use AI to basically change and shift the way people think about financial literacy. So some of the things that we're doing includes a trading style quiz, which is basically AI based. A couple of I guess strategies, option strategies, that we basically use what we learn from our users to say, well, maybe this strategy works better for you than this other strategy. So all of that AI based, so it's Trade Like a Champ. We've been in existence for quite some time. We existed as a small community of just vibrant people interested in sharing knowledge, but we're slowly evolving into a technology company that would be basically shaking the atmosphere when it comes to finance and AI.
Oh, that's great. So refresh my memory. Are you integrated with us yet? Not yet. We're along the path. I know
we're along the path.
Okay.
We're along the path. We should be getting something in here shortly. We are actually integrated with you guys already, but the application itself hasn't been launched yet.
Got it. So, that's what I was getting at. Okay.
We're already set on the back end, but we just basically warming up and really getting ready for the application launch.
Good. Yeah, this is exciting. Okay. And you're going to talk a little bit about this Chat GPT. I'll share the screen in a second. The other question I have, so you tend to focus on options trading a decent amount, is that right?
Yeah, I tend to be more focused on options trading. I basically enjoy the way that the options that the option trading keeps us, right?
Right. Oh, that's right.
Different options, like you could do your ICs, you could do back spread, you could do credit spread, you could do so there's just a whole ton of options in the options.
That's right.
But I do stocks, and I do options as well. So
okay, good. And give the folks just a little background on yourself. How did you, what's your educational background? How did you get involved in this business? What's your experience? I know I'm reading it on the screen here, and the folks can't see that. So tell us a little bit about you. Tell us how'd you get started in all this?
Excellent. Thanks, Lex. And thanks for having me once again. So my name is Iyanu. I started off with a bachelor's in computer science. And so my background is in computer science. And I've always tried to figure out how to use computer science to really solve problems. I came from Africa, to America. And, basically one thing that I learned, was just from switching from the African community into the American community for my master's, I saw just a ton of opportunities. And I was super excited about those opportunities, but I really wanted to do something that would actually be meaningful and would change many lives. And so what had happened to me while I was doing my master's program was, we had this unfortunate situation in the family where about 5 between 4 to 5 people were having some medical struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I decided, you know what, like it would be really, really good if I could tailor my master's thesis to solve some of these problems. I might not be able to really solve the problem, but if there's any technical contribution that I could make to resolve such issues, I would love to be able to do that. And that's how I initially got started in the AI space. So I started looking at, classification problems and unsupervised learning, to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at protein sequences, and I was trying to create clusters of these sequences to be able to identify biomarkers that might be very useful, that might have a therapeutic use in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started there. But also, while I was doing that, I had to get married. So I met my, beautiful wife, who I'm married to today,
Uh-huh.
and we're planning to get married. And as you know, I was only earning about 1,000 something in stipend as a young,
Yeah.
college student. And my wife was also doing a biology degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, she was also earning like 1,000 something. So I'm like, this is not going to cut it for us. We need to figure out a way that we can make, something, that would push us and
Right.
grow us. And so I attended every single Robert Kiyosaki's conference that existed.
Really?
I
Oh.
I attended every single one of them, and it was hard.
Oh.
Like, options now that appear so easy to me was like, my God, like, what are they talking about?
Oh.
And so, basically, my wife and I would still go. We would take notes. And then eventually, I had I had a guy who was a pastor at my church who said, look, go on Yahoo Finance and try to, do some research on
Sure.
basically what stocks are, what options are. And then I started just basically doing little research. It
Mm-hmm.
was really, really, really tough to get the knowledge. We
Sure.
didn't have like Tradia. We didn't have all these different, tools now that everyone, can really connect with to really learn about how these things work then.
Sure.
So it was really, really tough. And so we learned, eventually I went from one, bought a ton of books. Like, I could give book recommendations from now till tomorrow on great books that people should read that people should read to be able to get up to speed with the market. And from there, learned a lot, and eventually connected with a guy called Tokes.
Mm-hmm.
Tokes was extremely, extremely helpful. Watched all Tokes' video.
Right.
And I started trading little by little. I started with Zynga. I don't know if you remember that stock.
Oh yeah.
Zynga.
Yeah.
It was a stock with Facebook. I think they were doing some stuff with Facebook at the time. They
Yeah.
were trading at $250 then, and I put in, I don't know how much exactly. I want to be precise. I don't know the exact amount, but I started, it
Right.
was trading at 250. Went from 250 to $5. I was like, whoa.
You thought you were a pro. This is easy.
Exactly. And so I just started off. And Lex, to be honest, we made enough to be able to make a down payment for our first home.
No kidding.
Being two individuals that had been in college, just trading.
That's fantastic. Well, think about that. That's quite a story. Congratulations, by the way. That's fantastic. That's great work. Well, man, that is something. So now you find yourself with Trade Like a Champ. That's your company, right? It's your baby.
Yep.
And let's get into it a little bit, because I told you pre-show, this Chat GPT thing. I learned about this last week. Okay, that's how dumb and old I am, and how slow I am to read things. Okay, so this guy tells me it could write poems. And he said he told it to write a poem, with a theme around Edgar Allan Poe and iambic pentameter. I'm like, what? And he read it to me. I go, that's really good.
Yep.
Now I'm intrigued, right? And I know where you're going to go with it. You're going to tell me that this thing can help your trading ability and your understanding of the financial markets. And I'm eager to learn more. So, man, let us have it. Sock us in the head with this one.
Excellent, 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 excellent. So basically, ChatGPT
Hmm.
is a what they call generative AI model. It
Hmm.
has the ability to answer any of your questions. We have, supervised learning, as I mentioned earlier,
Yep.
unsupervised learning, and then reinforcement, learning. ChatGPT has the ability to take any of your questions. Why? Because it's taking a ton of data. It's like, just think about it as a question and answering data set, right?
Yep.
Where you have questions and then you have answers, and then you have a bunch of them, like huge amounts of them. It
Hmm.
trains this model, and basically you have what is called the inference model, and then from that inference model you
Hmm.
can basically query it with any questions, and it would be able to answer you. And so there's been a huge buzz around it lately. There's a ton of things that it could do. There are various applications of it within the financial space, and there are applications that are yet to come.
Oh, I bet.
Out of this specific tool, as it begins to evolve for
Sure.
the financial space as well.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, so
Yeah,
let's start
let me
with.
ask you real quick, Iyanu. So, and you may be getting this, but I'm just curious. I'm thinking about this. So, can it take like chart patterns, let's say, and say and ask it, what chart patterns indicate, tops or bottoms or breakthroughs or whatever? Can it get that crazy?
It could. We would test that out today.
Okay.
However, what it does is more text based.
Okay.
I think, and I like the way where your questions are your question is going, because I wish you could maybe upload an image, for example, and then it would
Yeah.
try to explain what that image is saying and
Sure.
stuff like that. But anything that is data related, it's
Hmm.
able to basically take it and answer it. So we
Okay.
could ask the question today as well. I would
Okay.
try.
Okay. Do you want me to share the screen now, or you want to?
Yes, let's
Let's
go
do
for
it.
it.
Okay. Okay. So tell us what we're looking at here.
So we're looking at Chat GPT here,
Okay. Yep.
and basically you could access it by going to the link https://chat.openai.com
Okay.
slash chat for anyone who is listening and wants to connect.
Yep.
So you need to log in. So I'm going to log in right here.
Now, Iano, do you have your own? You have your own. Yeah, I don't know what the right word is. Account or
Account?
login.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
For
So
someone
how
who
do
is
you do
interested in
that?
signing up, you could click sign up.
Okay.
And for myself, I already have an account, and
Okay.
so it would take my account. Uh, Basically, I'm gonna get a authentication code, just to make sure I got the authentication code. So let's close that. Enter code. Now we enter 15.
So they send this to
Done.
you. This is their own authentication
Yeah.
process. Okay.
Yep. Just to make sure
Yep. And you're
it's
getting
the right
in.
person.
Okay.
Yep. And then now we're in.
Okay. What do we now?
So
Okay. This isn't, Chat GPT. I got to be honest. It's not terribly colorful, but I
yeah.
like it.
It doesn't look like the green and red chats, right?
Right. Right.
Or
That's good
charts,
though.
sorry.
It probably does some great stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. What are you going to ask Mr. Chat GPT?
So let's assume that this was me in college, while I didn't have an idea what stock was. And so I wanted to ask ChatGPT,
Hmm.
what is a stock? What
Hmm.
is a stock?
Okay. So now you can. Okay, there we go.
So ChatGPT just answered, a stock, also known as a share or equity, represents a unit of ownership in a company.
Uh huh.
So when you purchase a stock, you become a partial owner of the company, and are entitled to a portion of its profit and asset.
Wow.
I
Look
can
at that.
say, can you please explain further?
Oh, so it'll Oh, wow.
And then it starts to explain further.
Wow. That's amazing. Can you ask it if Lex has a growth spurt left in him? Will I be taller?
If he knows Lex, then he's going to be able to answer the question.
If I eat my vegetables, will I get bigger? Okay.
we could, so now it's explained that, right?
Yep.
We could say, all right, can you share with me a list of stocks that I should be paying attention to?
Okay.
So
Oh,
you see
that's
how
cool
this
though.
is so, it's so intelligent
That's
that it
really
says,
cool.
well, I do not have the ability to provide personal financial advice or make specific stock recommendations.
Right.
It's important to conduct thorough research and consider your own financial goals and risk tolerance before making investment decisions.
Wow. So interesting. So they even figured that out. So now how does this come? How does this work? I mean, are humans, putting all this data in? I don't get it. How does it know? How does it know how to do this? I want to know how to make. I'm making shrimp and pork fried rice tonight for dinner. I want to know how to make that. And
Let's ask it a question.
will it know that one?
Yeah. How should I make shrimp and what?
Pork fried rice.
Pork fried
Right. Right.
rice
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, look at this. Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? I love
Yep.
it. Oh my God. It's got the carrots. I'm using that too. See, they got the oyster sauce in there. This is a good recipe.
Everything right there. And then gives the instructions step by step what to
Oh,
do.
you got to be kidding me. Can you print that out and send it to me so I can cook it tonight?
Why not? So can you imagine? Basically, what they do is they've gathered a huge corpus of data sets,
Mhm.
and they have to train these data sets. So basically, with AI and machine learning, it's whatever you put in that you get out.
Okay.
As if you have something clean put in, then you get something clean out. And so a lot of work has gone into cleaning up the data to
Sure.
get it to a place where it can actually be trained so that when you ask any questions, it's able to answer. Now,
Right.
it's not only able to answer questions that exist in its data sets,
Yep.
it could answer other questions as well because it's been trained to be able to
Sure.
do so.
So will it continually learn as you based on what you input into it, you personally? So it knows, kind of your interests and your likes. It might be around finance, for instance. So will it kind of continually learn more and more around your main topics that you always bring to the table?
So, yes, based on the questions that you're asking it, it has the ability. So, for example, it has the ability to think about what you asked prior and continue the conversation from where you stopped. However, like it's consistently learning from our answers, our questions, our
Mhm.
inputs, because you can actually give a feedback here whether it's correct or not, right? Yes, no.
Oh,
So
I got
that
you.
feedback probably gets sent back to their team,
Mhm.
and they consistently update, you know,
Sure.
retrain to ensure
Right.
that I think they're trying to release chat gpt. I don't know what version they're trying to
Yeah.
go with now, so depending on that version they go and take updates, they do a
Sure.
refresh, and then it's new data and more sophisticated answers that come out.
I got you. So when I went in, and then when I saw your form that you sent me for this for today, I saw the Chat GPT, and I got to be honest, I didn't know what it was. So then I went back to my friend I told you about, and I saw it in his email, and I clicked on it, and I went to this page. I got to this page, but it said we're too busy and we can't, let you in
Yeah.
right now
It's
because
a
we have
huge
so many
traffic.
requests.
Yep. It's a
So
huge traffic on it. The best time to get in is at night,
yeah.
So I set it up to, I do a lot of my research at night.
Hmm.
It's a lot easier to get, into it at night. We could ask you to write us an automated trading bot, right?
Really?
Yeah.
So
So
you can do that. You can do that now.
yeah.
Okay, let's see it. I'm so excited. This is great.
Create for me, or create an automated trading bot in Python.
Oh my gosh.
I say I'll say, and use the bullish engulfing pattern as a rule.
Wow. So it's thinking. We stumped it a little bit. It's got to go.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. No way. That's amazing. So you can just copy that into some, your code base and go nuts.
And go nuts.
Wow. That's crazy.
Can you imagine that?
Well, I'm already thinking of applications,
Exactly.
I'm already thinking of things right now. This is crazy.
Exactly. This is our space right here.
This is unbelievable. Wow. It's just amazing. Just amazing. I can't wait to I have to do it offline to tell you the questions I'm going to ask this thing. It's unbelievable.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know, right?
All right. Let's now, while this is doing that, how do you use this relative to your trade like a champ? So is there some sort of integration here? What's going on with that?
So what we're attempting to do at Trade Like a Champ is to do some of the things that you mentioned earlier, to be able to actually go deeper into being able to answer some very, very intricate financial technical analysis questions. And
Okay.
so things like you being able to ask, basically, can you give me 10, stocks that fall, under the IC range, that I'm looking to get in today? Or can you give me 10 stocks that fall under the debit spread or credit spread, category that are really good for me to trade today?
Hmm.
Or you could go far into screeners and just begin to deep dive into. So some intelligent questions like that are very specific to
Yep.
technical analysis. We're trying to make sure that that's possible through the platform. You
Okay.
might not necessarily be able to write code to do
Yeah.
something on there.
Right.
However, what we're trying to do is we're actually utilizing some of the codes we're generating from here and seeing from here, to make sure that we're able to basically create more intelligent
Right.
automated bot. But that wouldn't be released in our first release. That
Hmm.
would come later on.
Right. So you don't have to have your users subscribe to this when it's
No,
subscribable,
no,
because I
directly.
can't imagine they're going to let this be free forever. I mean,
Yeah,
this
this
is the
is
old freemium model play, which is great,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
And then you as a company will subscribe and then do all the legwork and then
All the legwork.
embed
Yep,
it into, right?
yep. That's
Yeah.
correct.
Got
That's
it.
correct.
Very cool. Wow.
That's
Yeah. Who
correct.
needs to code anymore when you have this thing?
I know, right? I know, right? And
Unbelievable.
and for those that have been coding for a very long time, now
Mhm.
you have like your coding assistant. You
Yeah.
know, it's like having Google Copilot and then having this. It's like crazy.
I know. So will it do other languages besides Python? We'll do Java, C++.
It will do Java, it will do C++, it will do MATLAB, it will do anything.
Wow,
Yes.
that is insane. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. So okay. So when are you coming to market? I see we're at 25 or so minutes. We got a few left. Let's hit some other high points. Do you want to talk about any of your pricing or anything that's coming out with Trade Like a Champ that you'd like to get out there?
Yeah, so we're looking at coming to market in the summer.
Okay.
And at launch, we're looking at about $150 a month.
Okay.
We're going to have just really amazing, tools and features for people to play around with. It's going to be really, really exciting. We want to make financial literacy and learning, we want to make it really fun. And so our team is really, really working on how we can actually make it more fun for people.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like avatars and just some really beautiful things that we're going to be releasing for people. Great. And so we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be sometime in the summer, and we're thinking of starting it off at $150 a month.
Awesome. And then you've said IC a couple times. I know what that stands for. I think it stands for Iron Condor.
Yes, Iron Condor.
Yeah, so I have to pull this out of you sometimes because when we're speaking sign language or code language, the option folks. So your site likes Iron Condors, I suppose, right?
Yes.
So you are looking for good setups, let's call it.
Good setups, yes.
Yeah, for put on an Iron Condor. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
that's correct.
Terrific. That's what the Trade Like a Champ will offer as well. Those sort of things.
Exactly, those sort of things like credit spread. So typically, when people go in, people go into basically naked calls, or naked puts, and things like that. Ideally, when you start going into the spread, you actually start figuring out ways of mitigating those risks by reducing the amount you're spending, initially coming in, or even getting some credit upfront before you get into the position. And so essentially being able to find those setups become really, really critical. Yep. And I think a lot of people are spending their time basically just learning how to trade calls and puts, and that's fine. That there's no issues with that. But if you wanted to take your game to the next level, you want to be able to mitigate your, reduce risk and things like that, then you should be on the spreads, right? You should be thinking about the spreads and things like that.
That's right. Right. Good. Okay. And then do you think our friend here, the Chat GPT, will give us some ideas on risk tolerances, risk reward sort of behavior as well, even though it can't recommend stocks? We've already learned that. I get it. So it will be able to do that as well, I would imagine, right?
Yes, it can, so it would give you the answer as specific as you could get with the questions.
Okay. Understood.
So if we drill down to Apple, for example, we could do more, more, I guess, analysis on that specific stock, because it's just one stock. So, it really depends on, if you ask it for investment advice, it wouldn't necessarily give you, but if you ask it a technical question, it would answer it appropriately.
Could it answer a question like, what Iron Condor is the best one to put on in Apple? Can it do something like that?
Let's try it.
Yeah.
What Iron Condor's setup
Yep.
would be great to trade on my Apple.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Let's see.
I wonder if it comes out. Ooh, we stumped it. I love it. See that?
Yep.
But look what it tells you about an Iron Condor, though.
Yep. It explains the concept, but it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yep.
Huh.
Well, you see, when considering an Iron Condor trade on a stock like Apple, it's important to consider several factors such as stock volatility, blah blah blah. But it doesn't. Yeah.
So it stays away from the advice part of it, which is it. I get it. It has to do that, right?
It has to do that. Yeah.
But that's really cool. So I love it. Very cool. I like that. I like the code before too. That was great. I'm gonna try to get in this thing and mess around with code.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of it. I think I've had over 5,000 requests since they started off.
Is that right?
More, so.
Okay. So the Trade Like a Champ is, you said, is going to be about $150 a month.
Yep.
Okay, and you get to access to all these kind of queries, I guess, from
Queries.
what you
Exactly.
do.
Exactly.
Tradability, right? We're going to integrate trading on the product.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Yep.
good, 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 good.
Yep.
And will you be doing sample trades yourself that if people want to copy them, they can? I know you can't be an investment advisor. I totally understand that. But if people want to do that, they can copy paste some trades. Is that possible as well?
So we would be basically running some demos on how to use the platform. We would be running a couple of them as we evolve. But I think the scanners have been
Mm-hmm.
designed in such a way that like basically people can actually just go up there and see some of those setups.
Yep.
And we're not investment advisors or
Sure.
financial
Yeah.
advisors, but basically if you see an iron condor set up, then it becomes your choice to
Sure.
determine whether you want to.
Right. Well, do you think our friend here will return? What stocks are making new 52-week highs today?
Let's try it.
Okay, let's try one more here. That
So
might be okay because that's not
that would be okay. What stocks are trading 52-week high today?
Yep.
That would be okay.
I think I think this one could work.
Yep. Let's see what it does.
Let's see what it does. There's a lot of stocks for this thing to go track.
Yep.
See, he's thinking, or she's
Yeah.
thinking, whatever the case may be.
Whatever the case is.
All right. You decide what your chat bot is. That's your deal. Wow, look at he's going to town here.
Yep.
Do you think they're going to come up with something?
I believe so.
This is great.
I actually believe so.
Oh my God. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So you see, this is probably the reason why our tool needs to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Iyanu, get your tool out.
To find the current list. Okay, I'm gonna rephrase the question here.
Okay. All right. So it's trying to stay
I'll say,
away from
can
the
you
investment.
share with me
Yep.
52 weeks high stocks from a financial website? Let's see what
Well,
this
that's tricking the system. I like that. Oh, look at that. No bueno.
There was this question I asked it, and it actually did give me some stocks though.
It did. Okay.
The question I asked it, I believe, was what stocks should I
Mm-hmm.
what stocks are connected to AI?
So you think that this one might be able to answer it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So and that's not investment. It has nothing to do with buying or selling.
It has nothing. Exactly.
Right. Okay, got it. Very cool.
So you see, it's so intelligent. It's able to tell like when your question sounds like you're trying to ask it for investment advice.
Right. Okay. Very cool. Well, I'm excited for this, Iyanu. I can't wait for this one to come out and you get it all integrated and launched.
Yep.
This is going to be fun. I'm going to do some. I'm going to do some searching on this too. I've got questions for it as well.
I know.
Right.
I know.
All right. Anything else before we go that the folks should know relative to Trade Like a Champ? What else any closing thoughts on that?
Yeah. So for those who have kids and who you want to get your kids involved in the stock market, we do have what do you call it? A book.
Yep.
It's like a cartoon or comic book on financial literacy, so people can check that on the site as well.
Well, and that's on Trade Like a Champ site.
Yes, that's on Trade Like a Champ site.
I got it. Oh, that's awesome. And they can download it
Yes, it's on Kindle, and they could also purchase it,
Okay.
on Amazon.
Perfect. Perfect. And that's tradelikeachamp.com.
That's correct.
Running across.
And then for those who are interested in being notified when the app is out, there's also a form that they could fill on the site,
Okay.
where basically when the app comes out, we would notify them.
Perfect. 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 Awesome. All good stuff, Iyanu. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming
Same,
on. You're the
same.
best. I love it. I'm going to be following this. I promise. I can't wait. And not only that, I'm going to try to become an expert on Chat GPT
Yep,
beforehand. So
yep.
that's very cool. Thanks for introducing you. You did a great job. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Lex. I've been looking forward to this. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you. All right, stick around. I'll be right with you in a sec. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, Iyanu.
All right, thank you.